Hi, this is Gabriel here, and just doing a setup guide and how to drive a front-wheel drive car. Just before we go ahead, I want to point out that I'm not like a super master, so if you disagree with my setup and thoughts on it, then feel free to tell me that I'm a plonker and I'm doing it horribly wrong. But this is what I just found works for me, so there we go. Okay, so the thoughts going into this are basically that anything that says it might give us oversteer is actually a good thing, because in a front wheel drive it's very easy to understeer, go straight off the road in a straight line and into a tree. With that said, you're probably noticing that my brake bias is on the front. What can I say? I'm just used to how it feels, and the brakes are just more powerful, actually just stopping the car when they're biased towards the front. So yeah, I try and do all my braking before the corner, and just if I do need to brake in the corner, it will just be a little dab, and that will tighten the line, and it just feels better, basically, for me. I mean, feel free to put it towards the back, obviously. If that works for you, then happy days. The diff, yeah, so basically, it's probably better to have this looser than what I've got, because basically in a straight line, like, it's the rear wheel, the rear of the rear wheels, tires are going to be doing most of the work anyway. So when you corner, it's probably better to have that traction. The thing is, though, it can make the car very, like, when you're driving on gravel, it can start to feel a bit like you're driving on tarmac, which actually feels very weird to me. So having it in the middle just gives you good traction for the sorts of fast sections where you get more stability and just generally more traction, like for the really for the 6th gear sections. It just feels nicer. I mean, play around with it. If you're going to try going looser, try going stronger, see which you prefer. Maybe you'll disagree, but I wouldn't be surprised if you just leave it in the middle. I really wouldn't. The gearing on we're in the Seat, by the way. This is for the Seat kit car. The gearing is kind of weird. Like, first gear seems, and second gear are just odd. They're just really odd. I might even lengthen them while I'm here to look more like that. That was probably going to be a bit better, actually. Again, play around with it a bit, because I haven't actually optimized these gears myself yet, but having them a bit longer will just minimize the chance of you putting your foot down and understeering into a tree. So, in the same way that in my rear-wheel drive video, the longer, the less acceleration you've got, the less likely you are to just oversteer and have the bum of the car hit a tree. So, yeah, worth mentioning that on somewhere like Greece or something with lots of turns, probably better to have it somewhere near the middle, but just be aware that it seems to me that the gears on this car are like criminally short. So the lower you have it, the more likely you are to just be like spinning the front tyres on the dirt, not really doing much for you. Suspension, it's pretty soft on loose surfaces. High ride height because of bumps and whatnot. Anti-roll bar, not too soft, fairly soft, not too soft, because like the rear wheel drive car, like my approach to it is having a sort of more stable, less rolly car means you can keep it like on the racing line easier, and it's not going to kind of roll around like a hippo. Camber angle, play around with that again. This is, I reckon, 1 or 88, or maybe a bit less on the front is quite good. It depends how kind of vague or tight you want the steering to feel, really. Toe angle, turn in response at the cost of stability. I'd say fairly important to have it at least on plus 12 for a front wheel drive, because obviously when turn response, so when you turn the front tyres you want it to turn, and that's where all like your power is on the front tyres, you know, for going around the corner. So I'd say you at least want it at plus 12. Damping, probably a bit softer actually, as I just like almost jumped into the sky after landing in just a test run that I did before shooting this video. Pretty much a mirror of the front with the similar sort of logic. Now, toe angle on the rear, this is pretty important. This is like one of the most important parts to figure out. So at the moment I've got it on plus 25 because a positive toe angle can reduce understeer, and we're in a very understeery car because it's front wheel drive, and it may cause oversteer on corner entry. That's perfect. I mean, what more could you want? You want to turn in, the back end might step out a little bit, and you're just really going to rotate better around the corner and then pull off in a straight line on the corner exit like you were driving a four-wheel drive. You know, that's just ideal, frankly. Let me know if you want me to upload this to Steam. If not, I just take a screenshot or something. Right, now I'm just gonna do stage and just talk about like driving style.
5, 4,
I would point out now that I'm fairly confident that even if I have a small off, that I'm gonna set a top 100 time. So you can see with the gears, you go through them pretty quick. Oh, and I've already made a mistake. Oh dear. Well, let's just recover the vehicle. There we go. So, basically, the approach on this is to only be full on throttle when we're in a straight line, because the more throttle we apply on a corner, the more likely we are to understeer into the tree or ditch on the exit of the corner. So 80%, 70% ish around that corner. Hairpins, we just chuck it in, step on the gas on the exit, and we're happy. So you can see the end comes around nicely, we get it in a straight line for the exit of the corner, and we have a nice sort of launch. And a section like this is where having a bit of a medium diff really comes into its own, because we've got nice traction in a straight line, sort of pulling us out the corner, and we've also got a reasonable amount of traction actually going around the corners, so that's really nice. Just a little left foot brake in there to keep the front of the car down. So really pay attention to my throttle input on these sections. You'll hear that it's almost never full throttle through this twisty section. Keep it in a slightly lower gear, we get some engine braking. Quite heavy braking there because I felt I was going to understeer off into the trees. And full throttle now. Left foot braking, keep the front down. Running a bit wide, that's okay. If the rear runs wide, then you're probably going fast enough in a front wheel drive car. virtually flat midway through there. If you think sometimes they're not going to make a corner, you can sort of just point in the direction you want to go and nail the throttle, and sometimes you'll get away with it. Just like I did a couple of corners back there, but you probably didn't notice. Oh, wrong gear. So, ooh, that's not going to be a great time with recovering the car, but there you go. It happens. So, as you can see, the test run I did much better with a 2 minutes 57 for the 75th in the world, and that was with me actually understeering and bumping into a pile of logs. So this sort of more restrained approach, like my rear-wheel drive tutorial, which I'll leave a link in the description for if you've not seen it, clearly does work, and it's very consistent. You're just going to eliminate that understeer and make it nice and drivable. And I think it's actually a great car to learn in, actually, because its approach can be very easily applied to all the four-wheel drive cars as well, really. So anyway, so any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I get back to everyone like immediately. So yeah, do it. Alright, cheers, bye.